Januta here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to episode 6 of our daily gaming gameplay XP grind. And so we've added quite a bit of kilns as we are going to be focusing on that right now. And we're going to be taking our artisan potion just in case some of these sort of finish up. But we plan to sort of expand this to probably about 40 or so of these kilns. So this is just the beginning, and we wanted to sort of lay out the groundwork so that way on this episode at least, we would be focusing on heavy XP and trying to maximize our time while getting XP. And so at work today, I was talking to a coworker, and we were just sort of discussing potentially what would be coming to the game, and it sort of struck me that with the current capacity, right, for your inventory, and then them raising how much you can hold, this is actually going to change the game quite a bit, more so than I originally even thought, because what's going to happen is essentially you could build an infinite army of kilns and simply collect a ridiculous amount of clay and logs, and then look at all that XP. And then essentially, once you've done that, you could sort of just spend hours at these kilns and get a mass amount of XP. So although I really like it, I think it's going to change the game in a lot of different ways. So I think we're going to leave those there, come here, and then we're going to make some arrows. So that sort of still works on the artisan that we're working on. So let's go ahead and eat a little bit of food and drink a little bit of water, and then we are going to start making some arrows. So we don't have a ton of logs, so we'll be able to make what we can make and then go from there and then decide what we want to do. Once they do change the game in the way of what you can hold, we will be moving a lot of our supplies that we have lying around, and then working on sort of condensing and making things a little bit more manageable. So we need to go over to the crafting table. So looks like we already had this because we knew we were going to be doing this. So we've already got our potion active. So let's go ahead and make as many of these as we can make. So 1472 XP, not bad at all. So the next thing is we don't quite have enough room. So we're going to have to make another one of these just for arrows. And that's going to get quite full quite quickly actually. So let's go back over here and make a little bit more while this potion's still active. Went right back to the anvil. I get confused with that. So let's go ahead and make some more of these and put these arrows in here, which we've already pretty much almost filled that up. So we'll have to make another one of these to drop them in. It's ridiculous. But with range coming to the game on, I believe it's September 9th, now we're going to have plenty of arrows to sort of do what we need to do with that as well when we're leveling up that. So we're going to craft 3 more of these, and then we're out of one of our materials. It looks like it's the tooth, but we're not really out of that. We have a lot of that lying around. I just honestly don't know where it is, because I've been so lazy with the way that I do things. I've got things scattered across the game in a few locations, so it's really hard to keep track of that. But we're not quite done yet. We are going to be taking planks to those kilns and turning them into charcoal, which we really don't need to do, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not going to be building with planks right now, but that's another thing. That's a whole nother thing. It's so tough because you essentially could um use planks to build, what is it, these right here. I'll show you these. They're great XP, and there's a technique I show in another video where you sort of build them and then you're building them on floor, and I'd say 80+% of them, when you destroy the floor, they all fall to the ground and you get your resources back. So I believe it's the fastest XP in the game for construction currently. So it sort of saddens me a little bit when I use them in the kilns because I feel like I'm losing a lot of construction XP that I could potentially be getting. So that's a little hard to do, and our artisan potion's still active. But you see that 10,672 artisan XP, and so it's going to be interesting once you can hold more in your inventory because overall it's going to make this like mass way to get XP. So anybody who was potentially trying to get what is it, the 103 million XP in Artisan, that would basically be the way to do it. Obviously, it would take a mass amount of time of you running around and collecting the resources to make that happen. But obviously, as they add things to the game, I'm sure some of them are going to be giving a little bit more XP though. So now I've got to figure out what I want to do next, and it might be mining. I'm not sure because I do have some more things here I could use in my bank. My base, not my bank. We don't have banks, so essentially it is basically a bank, though. I mean, if you really think about it, at its root core. I don't want to fall to the floor here, as these things are probably going to be loading back in. One thing I did want to try to do really quick, actually, if I can remember, what it's going to require. I believe it's at the anvil, and it's right here. I really want to make this really quick. So if you were wondering how to make it, it's right here. It's the Blightwood Battle Staff. I was researching it at work just a little bit, and I really caught my eye. So we're gonna need 3 of this. We're gonna need some anima core, 12 Blightwood logs, which we sold in one of the chests. We had a ton over here, so which should be used to make big chests so I don't run into all the problems that I constantly am. I think it was 4 of the vault shards, and then I'm gonna have to go double check my memory. Not so great right now. Wrong one. It was, so we need 6 wild anima, and we actually sort of stocked up on wild anima because we realized that there may be different uses for it in a game, so we want to have a lot of it just sort of sitting around. I'm also interested once they do the update because you're technically can hold a lot more, right? So what does that mean as far as chests? Are those going to be increased, or ooh, that is actually really beautiful. I'm kind of sad I didn't have it originally. But yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work as far as what's already in the chest. Does everything automatically go to stacks of 999 or whatever they were going to make each stack? So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but I think it's going to be very interesting. So this, I'm just trying to debate. I'll leave these here because I do actually want to go back and pick all that up eventually. So it's interesting. Now that I'm doing all this, it sort of sparked an interest, a skill that I sort of got stuck in building, and I sort of lost that push that I had going. So I'm actually quite glad I'm doing these daily videos because it's sort of pushing me now to get back into it. And I forgot to use my morning potion. Not really a big deal. It's just one little node that I messed up on. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. Sometimes the location of these is just ridiculous. Mainly the gold ore, I noticed some of the nodes in that area, but you can't use a mining potion there, so you got to have anti-poison potion on. I guess we could go in here and grab these really quick. This is actually, I noticed inside the vaults you'll find a lot of resources and pretty big nodes of them as well. So I guess they're called the richer nodes. The only problem with coming in here is you are going to run into some rats, but that's okay because we're going to be getting some attack XP. But my sword just broke, so I wasn't paying enough attention to that. So let's go ahead and kill these guys, and then this is not doing a lot of damage at all. And I obviously don't repair my armor very frequently because it's all breaking on me. So that's quite ridiculous. And I'm actually going to die here if I don't figure this out, like right now. So I don't want that to happen. There we go. That was really close. And I think there's even more rats in here. So we're going to have to play it safe right now and sort of jump up on this. I don't think anything can get to us while we're up here. But That was ridiculous. Oh, and actually, I take more damage because I don't know if it was almost broken or broken, that piece of armor that it let me know about. But anyway, I think for the most part we should be okay to come in here and grab some of these resources. It's not that great. It's tin. I thought it was going to be something else, but I do believe there's a little bit of, is it iron in here? So that was pretty much what we were doing. I mean, we would basically come inside these vaults and mine all the resources. So that's how we got our mining so high. I mean, it was not an easy feat. So we were pushing really hard, and then we sort of got caught into building, and then we sort of just abandoned it. Oh, we got some more. That's quite a bit. 9 vault shards. We'll take the fleece and the mantle. Now that we're skilling again, I actually don't mind just sort of taking all that stuff. Sometimes I will leave it behind as I was trying to save space. But that's another thing. Once they come out with this update, space is probably not going to be as much of an issue as it has been um, since release. So that's going to be quite nice, especially if you're trying to go for vault cores and such. Even vault shards, if you have a lot of them, they're going to take up quite a bit of space. So it's going to be quite nice when it's not as much of a problem. So let's go ahead and blast these ones. But um, overall, I think the more that comes to the game and the more things that need to be dissected a little bit more is when the real challenges are going to come. I'm interested to know to sort of see when they add the other dragon mini bosses to the game how difficult they're in fact going to be, because there is this part of me that realizes we all may have to step up our game in the way that we play, because honestly Velgar is pretty difficult melee. I haven't used an anti-dragonfire shield while killing him, so that could be my issue. But I know as far as range, it's not that difficult, and I don't even think I had all the best armors that I do right now. But as they add more to the game, it should just make it a lot more easier. So hopefully everyone who's watching this has an opportunity to kill Vergar. Um, I think it's a quite a cool quest line, and yeah, so hopefully you've gotten to do that. So we've grabbed all this. I don't think you're really allowed to build in here. I was going to say, oh, it would be nice if I could put a lodestone in here with me so I could sort of leave faster. But overall, it's really not that bad. It's not too crazy. We're going to leave here because now we don't have our sword. And honestly, our sword is the best way to fight. The staff is not great for close combat. So let's go ahead. We've got a dead body around here. I'm not even sure. He probably doesn't have anything good on him, but you never know since I was skilling so heavily. He honestly could have anything on him. I might want to grab those bodies eventually, but our mining potion is about to expire soon. Hopefully they do something cool with the gems, because if I'm being quite honest, I've got so many now. I know you can use them to repair the crystal bow, and you can use them to make other items in the game, but I mean something more, like potentially crafting them into arrow tips. I think that would be pretty cool. I know it's not, I don't think you can do that in RuneScape 3. I mean, I took a really long leave from the original RuneScapes, so I don't think you can do that, but I think it would be cool if you could maybe. Well, they're already cut. See, that's a problem too. So you can't really say if you could cut them because I think they're already cut. So, other places in here. The only problem with getting these ones is it's dark in here, but I do believe I can build. So potentially, if I had some soft animal, of course, animal fur, which I don't, I could build the little lanterns in here, which is something I should have done a long time ago. There's a chest over there. And the reason I really don't like going over to that chest, I only did it once, is because look at it. It's ridiculous. It's basically, if you don't just time it just right, there's a good chance you're going to die. So I don't really think it's that worth it to go do that. I think, if anything, it's sort of a nuisance. I didn't see that I had all these logs in here, which I wish I had known that I did, because it would have made some things a lot easier earlier today when I was playing the game. But right now we're just gathering up some iron ore. Our potion did expire, so we're going to go ahead and consume another one, and then just keep on mining. But lodestones. It's crazy to think that in the beginning, for the longest time, I was running everywhere because I had heard from someone or read somewhere that you could only have three. So for me, I was like, okay, we're going to put three out and then just sort of have to walk everywhere. And I knew it was a survival game, so I just sort of thought that's how it's going to be. And then I found out that wasn't true. So I'm actually just glad that I found out that I could make more, rather than be upset at the fact that I've been walking everywhere in the game. So I think it was just more to be grateful for the fact that things were going to be better off, rather than be disappointed that I spent so much time running around in the game. So um, it's so hard for me right now because I see all these animals out here, and all I want to do is kill all of them and get more resources so I can actually keep skilling. So I'm picking stuff up right now, but I really want to just annihilate all these guys. That staff's not very powerful. Hopefully, when magic comes to the game, it sort of changes that, because that was ridiculous how long it took. And we don't, I think, have any arrows. We've got four. That's enough. That's enough to get it done. You see the difference there? That's why I like range a lot more than I like magic right now. But as I just stated, with magic actually coming to the game in its full form, I'm very certain that that will change. So I don't know if a lot of you guys have maybe played the game long enough or searched and checked out caves, but there is this cavern here, and on the map, it's just right here. And essentially, you go inside, and there's a ton of iron ore in here. So we set up a lodestone and a little bit of lights, so that way we could see while we were in here. So that's going to be beneficial if you did decide to come check this area out. Maybe bring some coarse animal fur with you, so that way you could take advantage of being able to see while you're in here. There's a little bit more right here, and then there's another node at the front entrance, but I usually don't hit that one. And the only reason I don't is due to the fact that, I mean, it is important to get all the XP, but at the same time, I think it's just so I think it's only a couple on there, so it's not gonna hurt you to not grab them. They're right here. So we'll just grab them just for the fact that we're doing XP grind, and we can just get the XP and be done with it. I think, what is that, about four we got? So if you don't know where it's at, I guess I'll come out just to show you. But right here on the map is where you're going to find this entrance down there. And I believe there's one more cave too, but I never really explored it, as I just, I guess, felt like I had enough with what I was doing. So I didn't really take the time to explore that other cave. But then again, I've run by so many different little openings, and they all start to blend. And so there's a couple other ones as well that have copper, tin, but my only problem with those is that, I suppose, once you have so much, it just sort of like, I don't really like to go for copper um, and tin anymore. And the reason is, one, you don't really get blacksmithing XP while you're making them into bars. But then I guess I could use them to make arrows, I suppose, to get artisan XP. But I mean, I don't know. But regardless, I it's quite a bit of work, and I've been doing it for such a long time that I've sort of shied away from doing certain ones. But I was trying to find right here. It's this one here. So basically, I blew this up last time, and then I ran out of room, which is kind of the case right now. So we're gonna go ahead and fill up our chest with what we can, and then go ahead and blast this one. Oh, but the lightning got me first. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and grab this, and we're full of space. So I guess we'll leave these again, just like last time. But look at that, 2,243 mining XP. So the way that we basically do all this is very efficient, and um, I don't want to be in here right now. That is not the place to be. I will explain why in 1 second, once I go on this bed and fix my sword, because it's not like you don't want to be there at all. Everything has got a time and a place, and it's not the time because my sword isn't working. So this floor, I can actually see it's not quite ready. Once it zones in, then I will actually go ahead and jump in here. and it's ready. So let's go ahead and go over here and drop all this in here. So we've got that together. I mean, just to show you though, these are just some of my gems. I mean, I've got a ridiculous amount. So that's why I was hoping potentially they bring something to the game where we can use them in some other way to get XP from them because, yes. But then on the other hand, it is a survival game. So in regard of it needing to have a purpose, its purpose is already here. It's just I play the game a lot more than maybe the average person. So they don't necessarily need to have a purpose, other than the ones that are already here in the game. So what was I just going to do? I can't remember. But since I can't remember, we got to keep skilling. It doesn't quite matter that I can't remember. So let's go ahead and pop another mining potion and get some more clay because we're going to need this because as I stated before too, I want to build a ridiculous amount of kilns. I do remember what I was going to do now, but overall it's okay. We're already here getting clay, so let's just keep going. And I mean, anybody who's been watching these videos and sort of following along, I think it's important to remember that it's going to take time to get some axe, and I know that, so it's fine. So it is going to be a progression. So hopefully along the way, I know it's probably going to take a while, but I'm just hoping that potentially you learn things you didn't know about the game, possibly find little tips or tricks that might make things faster for you, give you ideas on things that you, I guess, I don't know, you can always learn new things, always. Maybe it's you didn't sort of explore as much as you would have liked to because you sort of found whatever you needed wherever it was, but then you're like, hey, I didn't know that was there, and that's actually way more efficient. Maybe I'm going to do it that way. And right now we're out of energy, so we can't even do anything to this guy right here, but we got him. And it's good we do, because I think if he would have got us like one more hit, potentially we would have got poisoned, and that would have been really unfortunate. So that wouldn't have been a good thing, and then we would have had to, I think we would have been okay as long as we got the rat down, because if he did more damage, then the poison might have actually killed us. So that's all that. Let's go grab the other side. I almost feel like it might make sense to have a lodestone on each side rather than having to come through here in the middle. I feel like it's a little bit of a waste of time, but not a ridiculous amount. So I don't know. For now, it's fine. But we're trying to get, I think 6 clay is required to make a kiln. So that's another thing, is wanting to have all these resources for different reasons. Because I love to make the unfired vessels because they give, as you've seen, ridiculous XP in the game. So it's hard for me to be using it to make a ridiculous amount of kilns instead, because I just feel like that's all XP that I could have in a skill, but I suppose it's for the greater good. So it's hard, it's difficult, and I wonder if new areas in the game will have the same resources, maybe bigger nodes, or is it just if you want clay, you have to come back to this region? So potentially they probably should keep it the way it is, where you'd have to come here, because then that would sort of eliminate the need for these areas. If you didn't have to come here, then I don't know how often people would come visit the newer areas, except potentially players who are new coming to the game. So I'm not sure what their plan really is with that. I recently got all these, so they're not going to be here. And there's some over here we'll grab. Wonder if the Abyssal Demon respawned. I'm not sure his respawn time. And for those of you who didn't know, you can also kill the Abyssal Demon um, at the Blood Blight Swamp. He's over there as well. So I don't know if you have to kill one to make the other spawn, or if there's two that are existing in the same like time. I'm not sure how that works. So, but we're gonna grab the rest of this, and then once we're done with that, we are probably going to go back and potentially skill a little bit more. But I was gonna check on this. Man, it was just dark for a minute there, super dark. I thought it was gonna stay like that. I was about to say that's ridiculous. We can't have it be that dark. So actually, we're here. Let's go ahead and pop our artisan potion, and we're going to grab all the stuff from earlier. So this is probably there you go. So that's why you do coal. 4,000 XP, and then our new problem that we're already creating is room. We're gonna have to build a ton more. I'm not sure if there's any that fell through the floor, but ultimately, what's going to be happening around here is we're going to build a ridiculous amount of fires so we can cook in a mass, I guess just a mass amount we're going to be cooking. So let's go to sleep. Let's turn it back to day. We don't really like doing things at night. It just makes it a lot harder. Um, so we don't like to do that. So let's go ahead and eat a little bit of food. Hopefully at some point they change the mechanic on this, I feel, but then it might be based on weight, but then they're adjusting the weight in the new update, so it's going to be interesting to see how all that actually ties in. We got some ram horns. We're going to take them over here and put them in our ram horn chest. So as you can see, we've killed a couple ram horns here and again, so it's quite crazy actually. um I thought I had one of these things full of those fangs so we could make some more arrows, but it's okay. I want to try to stay focused right now. Um, we're going to swap this out, and then we needed logs. What else do we need? And we need stone. So let's grab some stone. We have a ridiculous amount of this. Oh, we got some gems there. We have a ridiculous amount of stone, but it's not right here. It's actually in some of the chests that are by the pyramid. We're gonna have to grab those at some point. The only reason we haven't done it is because we're waiting for the update where they're gonna be adjusting the weight. So let's go back here, and then I honestly would love to basically make this top area bigger. I don't really want to do it on this video because obviously I'm trying to skill and grind, and I don't want it to be about me building because I feel like that's something I'm just constantly doing. But as of right this second, we will work on it just slightly, just a little bit. I guess I need to figure out how I want to do this before I just go and do it. um I think I'm gonna go in a straight direction, so I shouldn't have destroyed that actually. But ultimately, I don't want to ruin too much and then have to come back and fix it all. So there we go. So we're gonna go straight with it. So that way it's sort of just a straight shot of a ridiculous amount of kilns. I mean, if I had it my way, it would not. It would be really bad. It would be like hundreds of them, but that's a little bit aggressive. I guess you'd have to, if you really wanted to fine tune it, you could find out exactly how long it takes for X amount of kilns to produce the items. So that way, by the time you run back to the front, you already essentially started an entirely new run, and you'd have a chest you sort of just drop everything that you just built. So this goblin's here, he's actually making it so I can't build, which is a bit ridiculous. So anyway, we are still technically skilling. Oh my gosh, he's got a sword. I forgot. He could actually really do some damage over here. So we're going to have to kill this guy. Where did he go? Oh my gosh. He's breaking things. He's doing damage. This is just absurd. So anyway, we've got a little bit of stuff that fell to the floor here. But I'm very disappointed that he even did any damage because it's okay. Once they add the update, actually everything will have a damage like health, and I'm be able to fix things rather than things just completely get annihilated like all my chests with my stuff, which has happened plenty of times in a game, which is incredibly frustrating as you guys see how much I have. So if they were to destroy something, it's disastrous, in fact. So let's go ahead and put some more, and I think we pretty much should be close to it. You know, one of the things I was afraid to do in the very like start of the game was put the little lights inside my building too close to the roof because I thought it was a survival game, and if I did that, there was a potential chance that it would catch whatever structure I've built on fire. So I was afraid that I would burn my house down. So I was very careful when I did that. And then it turns out that's not actually a thing. But it's better to be safe than you come back to your base after skilling in the game and you don't have a base anymore because essentially the whole thing burned down to the ground. And so I was worried about that a little bit. Let's see. This happens too. It's sort of stuck, but and it won't even let me cut it. So we're gonna have to figure that out eventually now, because that's a problem. So whatever. We're gonna leave it for right now. It's not even important. So let's go ahead and do this. Maybe we can find another log that fell on the ground. And there's one log. So it allows us to sort of finish this. And then I want to readjust these really quick and put these here. So we're missing logs, which is fine. We've got a lot of them inside of our little personal storage chest. So let's grab some out and then take care of this. All right. So I want to just have a runway of these things, and if they're as close together as possible, that's most ideal. These things only give 12 construction XP each. I feel like they should give more, but it's not really that big of a deal. So we got that side. I guess we could do here too. That makes sense. And then we'll have them here, and I guess that's it. We're running out of stone, but we've got plenty of clay. So, and we can get more clay later. So I think we're just gonna we can't because we haven't fired it yet. But I think we need to move this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then sort of just readjust. There's a tree there, so is it going to let me? It will, but they're not as close as the other side, and it's kind of going to irritate me because I want to make sure I can get as much as I can on each side. So we may eventually go back and fix that, but we're not going to make you watch it. So let's go ahead and go here, get these, and build 4 more. And then we are going to not be spending any more time doing this because we're supposed to be skilling. But I guess we'll put 2 more here. It won't let me. There we go. So 1 more because I don't think it's going to let me. I'll put another one here. But there you have it. So for right now, we've got a few, and we're going to need more. So this is just the beginning. But we'll move them over and we should be able to fit a little bit more. But what we got right now, 1 2 3 4 5 10 13 17, it's like 24. By the time we're done, we'll probably have about 26 or 27. I feel like that should be enough. So we've done that, and I do want to build fires, but I don't really think we have enough food right now to really worry about that. So let's go back to base, and then we're going to start skilling on something else. So we're going to go through our little chest really quick, make sure the floor loads in, and then get back to it. Let's see. We don't really have. That's already turned into leather. Let's see. What can we do really quick while we have you guys for like probably another 10 minutes? I think it's about 10. I don't really want to make any more arrows right now. Let's see. Potentially. I mean, we've got chests littered all over the game, but that's not going to help us right now. And I don't want to put you through that. So what we got going on, we got more of these. I guess we could just go back and put all these inside the kilns, even though I really don't want to do that because I want to keep my logs. Is there any more fur we can work on? We could cook. That's never fun. Alright, we're going to go drop this down here in the fire pits really quick. And then from there, we will sort of hopefully. I should have brought a cooking potion. Oh, it won't even let me pick it up. That's quite weird. Not sure what's going on there. But I guess my inventory's full. It doesn't quite look full, but okay. So we're going to put the steak out. We're going to go do this. and then we're gonna, I think that was all of it, right? That's all the raw meat. So let's go back up here. You know what's crazy is when you turn wood into planks, you would think you'd get like construction XP, because in my opinion it's like carpentry, right? But you get nothing. So I think that's kind of a bummer. Let's see what we got here. I could turn all this into um wool cloth. I think I'm going to do that really quick. That's actually what we're going to do. I kind of like wool, the way it looks. So when I have to get rid of it, it's kind of sad actually. I like the little balls of wool. I think they're cool. So let's go ahead and put this here. Actually, we're going to swap that for that because we're running low. I just want to sort of empty my inventory. There's just so much junk all the time. It's just never going to end. I know it won't because I play the game so much, so I can't expect that to change. So let's go grab a ridiculous amount of wool cloth out of these large chests, and then go upstairs and get lots of XP. I love XP, so that's what we're gonna do. Eventually, I would like to, and I've already discussed it. Just there's gonna be a ridiculous amount of all these different building. Um, what happened there? I've just all these different crafting stations. So when we go to skill, it'll just be easier. I don't know why it won't let me do this. Oh, because I don't have any logs. That's why. So let's go ahead and drop these in here. And then I actually want to take Artisan Potion because I'm almost certain that that's going to give me that. So let's do this. And then while all this is doing this, I'm actually going to go to my personal chest and grab out some more logs so I can fix the roof. I'm not quite sure what happened to it, but I want to take care of that. And I would say I would go to sleep so that way I could just make all this produce itself instantly. But the only problem with doing that is that's so weird. So I guess I just never use these then because it won't even let me put a roof here. So I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter regardless. It just doesn't. But yes, that is no, that is yes, Artisan XP. So look at that, 2.4 million 45,000. So we're definitely making some progress. But and look at all that XP. I wish these two were working. There's not even room for them, and that's kind of why I'm building that thing back at the start of the game, because honestly, I need to be maximizing while I'm skilling, and that's what I used to do. I used to be so um, just focused, and I was thorough. And now I've got Titanic over there, which is a beautiful build. But I sort of had everything already set up. But I'm liking the way I'm doing it now because I think it's going to make things a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Mainstreamed, or like something like that. Streamlined. Basically, it's just going to make it all more organized. And even though it was pretty organized before in my other base, I think this is going to be more efficient. But ultimately, that's doing that. So I guess we can go back to our other base while that does that, and then we can come up these stairs and then sort of take a look at what's going on here. I think I left things, didn't I? I thought I put some things in here. I guess I didn't. But regardless, I don't want to waste logs on that. So um I think that's pretty much it. I don't I don't know. I mean, it's tough. Like I stated, I don't really have enough of those looms built, so I'm gonna have to build more. So you're here though, so let's make some arrows, I guess. More arrows. Just this never-ending arrow situation. Got my abyssal spines. I'm just waiting to basically be able to play the game because I'm hovering. Anyway, let's go ahead, and I'm actually looking to, oh my gosh, I'm looking throughout my different chests and stuff, and I'm seeing all my bones. So I'm going to be, oh my gosh, I'm going to be building a prayer altar as well. Some sort of really cool thing for prayer because I have so many bones. So I think that will be really cool as well. Um, it hurts me when I have to use my ash logs, and it shouldn't because I mean technically I'm using them for the game, but it's like I don't like to lose them. they're like my prized possession. I know that I just go get more, but at the same time, it bothers me. I can't really explain why. So we've got a ton of these, and then we're gonna need some more ash logs, and then we need man, my brain is really not doing well right now. Feathers. That's what I need. So we've got a ton of feathers all through here. So I'm just gonna grab them out of here rather than actually go to my other chest where I know there are in fact some, but the only reason is it's sort of nice to kind of declutter my chests. So we've got some logs. I thought I had a bunch of logs just now. Did I put them in one of these chests and I didn't even realize that they are? So that will make us build some more arrows, and then our potion's still active. So let's go ahead and make our arrows. We can make 33 because it's going to take a ridiculous amount of space. So we can actually, what are we missing? I don't know what we're missing. There we go. So we just got some more XP. This is a problem. This is a big problem right now because now we've got so many arrows. I don't know what we're going to do with all of them. There's just way too many. I didn't really, I don't know. It's just too many arrows. So let's grab all these. That was only 184, 598. Okay, 644. So I think they we're gonna do a little bit more because I'm not quite satisfied with today's video. So I'm not even sure what our time's at right now, but I don't really care as I'm just trying to get a little bit more done in the game. So let's go ahead and grab some more meat. Um, we got some essence. I guess we can go convert that really quick. But if we're going to be doing a little bit of essence, we may as well do a little extra essence. So let's see. I want to save those rune essence because I mean, it's hard to be 100% certain, but there's like a percent chance that they're gonna add blood runes, and I want to make sure that I can make some. Eventually, I'd like to have just chests full of different runes, but it's tough because I don't necessarily like running around collecting a ridiculous amount of rune essence. It's I don't know, I just never really spent a lot of time doing it. I did at one point have a lot of rune essence just sort of sitting around, and then as I built, I liked to use the Eye of Oculus, and then I had to use my personal chest a lot, so that consumed a ridiculous amount of runes. So let's build. I wish I knew where my rune crafting potions are. I don't even have the slightest idea. But let's see. What did I just I think I sort of that's right. We've already gotten everything that we can right now as far as getting XP. So let's see. I'm just trying to we can actually drop these in here. We've got these. So I guess we could make some more arrows because that's what we're running out of right now. We just don't have enough. So I think we're going to make some more. We're going to get more feathers. So which ones? They're right here. Which that's a total joke. We clearly already have way too many arrows. We're going to need, hopefully they stack chests as well. I mean, I don't know. Because I don't know that they will because, I mean, they're going to increase our inventory. How much we can hold and the weight. So I don't know why they wouldn't change chests just a little bit so we can hold more as well in there. But that would be actually very, very helpful. But who knows? Because holding 999 arrows seems a little OP, but it's also kind of useful in a way that you don't have to take up multiple spaces to hold arrows. So that's pretty much it. I guess we ran out of feathers. Now we've got some more here. This is kind of nice. We're doing some feather decluttering. We've just got so many different things going on, and it's just a constant thing. So let's go ahead and do this, which just poof. Now we've got a lot more arrows. I don't know, maybe I'll have like some sort of world and build an extra world where I just like let people come get arrows at this point because I didn't realize now all these chests, instead of just having random things, they've just loaded with arrows. So that was essentially not really the most beneficial thing. But we've got this, we could just fill it. There we go. So I think that's pretty much going to cut it. I feel like we didn't get a lot done, but we did some mining. We built some kilns. We sort of expanded the kiln area. We made a little bit of wool cloth. Um, we went into a dungeon, got a vault core, almost died, and then we made like a ridiculous amount of arrows, and I think that's pretty much. We made some runes. I don't know, but we're going to set ourselves up for the next episode so that way we can continue with this sort of model rather than have to have you guys sort of having us so cluttered. So as the episodes progress further, and once the update comes out on June 17th, I think things will be a lot more organized, and the XP will just be coming in way easier. So we've got the 245,000 in attack, which we didn't do much. 709,000 woodcutting, construction 1,059,000, rune crafting 318,000. Mining 3,799,000 was so close to 3.8 mil. It's ridiculous. Artisan 2,452,000 and cooking 88,000. You know, we're gonna go grab our food before we end this. But wow, that's so great. 20 XP. I thought we cooked a little bit more than that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to be making more as it is a daily thing. So anyways, until next time, thanks for watching and Legion Nuta out.